Give me just a second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Give me my stream, you. There we go. Just make sure things are working. I wasn't sure at first because, for some reason, it decided to, act like my stream wasn't there. And it's like, what? What do you mean? My stream is only here. Alright, let me go ahead and get everything all situated. And welcome back, Voidlings. I am the expert, the master of disaster, the one and only Void Seer, son of Miguel Strolla, and we are back with a Voidex for Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster. It's been a while since we last did a Voidex, hasn't it? So, I have the wiki up, because, I do not have the higher bestiary gun in this game. As you can see, I am missing, 4 enemies. And they're all from, areas I cannot go back to. I believe they're in, I think this is, Heinz Castle. And the last ones are in, Goga's Grotto. So I don't think I can get any of these guys, so we're probably gonna miss those. I can talk about them. I'm debating on how I want to handle this. Do I want to handle this starting with the bestiary, or do we want to go right into the game itself? Give me just a second. Give me just a second. My mods are going crazy over here. My mods are going very crazy, so I guess what we're gonna do is, let's just go into the main game itself, shall we? Let's talk about the game. It will help talk about the game before we talk about the, whatchamacallit. So, this game is basically proto-Final Fantasy V. This game hates Final Fantasy I with its job system, and heavily updates the job system. You got a lot more jobs, a lot more abilities, a lot more equipment, everything overall. I call it a proto-Final Fantasy V because while it does expand on FF1, it doesn't let you, like, combine jobs. Like, you can't combine, like, a white mage class ability with, like, a knight or anything like that. It is still the NES era, or technically the Famicom era. We didn't get this for the NES. Final Fantasy III for us was not Final Fantasy III, it was Final Fantasy VI. Much like how Final Fantasy II for us was not Final Fantasy II, it was Final Fantasy IV. It gets a little confusing. So, overall, this game, I will say this right now, this game's not terrible. It's better than Final Fantasy II, in my opinion. It's better than Final Fantasy I. I mean, there's a lot more variety and stuff in it, but there's also a lot of BS that can happen compared to Final Fantasy I. A lot more BS. Still, it's not a terrible game, especially if you play the Pixel Remaster. Now, if you're playing the DS version or 3D version, how can help you? How can help you if you're playing the 3D version? I will have to go check out Papanomic here in a little bit, so let's take a quick look at all the stuff. So, formation, you know, the standard, quick save, save load, it's all the same stuff. Let's look at the configuration. So, configuration is pretty much identical to the previous games. Not really much difference. Not really much difference. So what about the boost? So, it does have job level boost, which is very nice for, you know, when you need to get job levels leveled up. Because, oh my god, does it take forever to level jobs up. It really does take forever to level jobs up in this game. Why? I don't know. It just does. So overall, it's still pretty similar to, the previous, Pixel remasters. Not a whole lot different here. I believe we still have the same stats as the previous ones. I don't think it really changes that much, per se. We do have Magic Basin here. Was Magic Basin... I don't think we got to see Magic Basin in Final Fantasy 2 or 1. So Magic Basin might be new here. I think Magic Basin might be new here. Yeah, you can tell how long ago this was when I did this, when I did this, particular playthrough. So, it follows Final Fantasy 1 with a magic system where the higher your job level, I think it's the job level itself, the more, uses of spells you can get. I'm pretty sure it's based on job level. And you can get a crap ton of charges, as opposed to the whole 9 charges you get in Final Fantasy 1. In addition, unlike Final Fantasy 1, you can remove a spell, and then he's another spell. You do not discard it if you remove it, unlike Final Fantasy 1. And your way of learning abilities in this game, you just gotta buy the spells or find it, and then you just, you know, get the item, and then you just use it on the character. Easy peasy. Not that hard. Very easy. And in this game, you do need some spells to progress. You need Hogue and Mini. You have to have these two to get through a couple dungeons. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. These two are required by the story. Hogue only once, Mini, 3 different times. You need Mini for the Neptune Temple. You need it for the, whatever crap that village is called. Hoses, you need it for Hoses. You need it for Neptune Temple, and you need it for Goga's Grotto. So you need it 3 times Hogue in the entire game. Hogue you only need for the Tower of Owen. That's the only time you need that. Alright, I will be right back real quick. Let me go get check out Papanomic. Alright, I am back. Give me just a second, if you will. 1 second. Alright, give me just a second. Right-ho. Alright, so, there's a wide variety of magic in this game. As you can see, a lot of white magic, black magic. I basically have a character set for all black, all white, and all summons. So, black magic is pretty standard. You got fire, blizzard, sleep. Like, you got pretty much all your standard black magic spells from previous games. Some differences. Break does not inflict Petrify like in Final Fantasy 1 or 2. It does gradual Petrify. Break inflicts Petrify. We also have Save, which is just your paralysis skill. So this is your stun hold from Final Fantasy 1. Stun from Final Fantasy 2. Raise is like a kill spell from Final Fantasy 1. Just if they're low on life, I think 50% or less life, then it kills them. And then this is your Dispel. Why did they rename it to Erase? I don't know. And then you got Bio, you got Warp, you got all your normal stuff. Meteor makes its first appearance here. It's the strongest spell of the game. If you want to smack everything. Popate. That is what you are. I mean, I'm an Onion Knight, and I'll show you why that is. But yeah. Black magic's very standard. Stop that, stick. White magic is also very standard. This is the first time the sight spell shows up. Again, I don't know why my Pro Controller started doing this. I never really used the stick on the Pro Controller. Oh, trust me, hey. I did everything except for 4 enemies that I can do. So, Sight, all Sight does, Sight's useless in this game. In the other versions of the game, you might get more use out of this. The Famicom, you would. But in this version, you get no use out of it. Because you can just go hit the map and hit Y, or whatever the map button is, and there you go. You have your map. You don't even need to, you know, use the sight spell. Again, Hogue and Mini, they're both required for story stuff. This is the first time Arrow soaked up. Yeah, it's also just an item. Arrow likes to flip between white, black, and blue magic in the series. It was first the white magic spell in this game. Everything else is pretty standard fare. I don't really need to go over all of these spells because they're what they are. They're pretty much what's written on the tin. So, no, we have Arrow, and we got Arrow Ga. There's no Arrow Ra or Era. It doesn't exist until Final Fantasy V. And this is the first time we get Tornado, which reduces HP to single digits. First soaked up as a white magic spell. It becomes black magic in later games. But yeah, Tornado. You will never use the spell. If I'm gonna be frank, out of black magic spells, you're never gonna use Blind. You're probably not gonna use most of the status spells. You're never gonna use Say. Erase you're never gonna use. Raise you're never gonna use. Drain you're never gonna use. Death you're never gonna use. And in white magic, you're never gonna use Sight. You're never gonna use, honestly, you don't even really need Blind now. Status spells, you're probably never gonna need. Libra, you don't really need, in all honesty. Tornado, you don't ever really need. Honestly, Reflect, you don't even really need Reflect. Reflect is useful in a specific boss fight. I think it's more useful at endgame with, like, actually, I don't know if it's useful at endgame, to be honest. And then you have your, summons. So summons are interesting in, there's only one summon per level. So you got Chocobo, Shiva, Ramu, Ifrit, Titan, Ogun, Leviathan, and Bahamut. A lot of them first appeared in this game. So, the thing about summons is, each summon has 3 different summon abilities associated with it. They have their ultimate, so like for Bahamut, that's Mega Flare. They have their white magic version, for Bahamut, that's Ura. And they have a black magic attack, which is for Bahamut, Ren. Depending on the job you're using, will determine what type of attack you may get. So if you want to get the best ability, you're probably going to be using Summoner the entire time. Or Sage. I think Sage can also do it, but Summoner or I think it's Summoner, that's the highest level. You might be Summoner. But yeah, lower Summoner classes will give you like 50-50 on like various things. You might not even be able to use ultimates with some of them. Now, summons I don't ever really use, personally. This is one of the few games where I never touched any of the summons, because it was like, there was no real reason to. I mean, I will tell you when summons actually matter, because some games summons are pretty damn good. They're not really anything special here. They're more annoying to use than anything else, because it's a gamble on what you get. So that's the magic system. Magic system, all done. And like I said, you can tell how old this playthrough was, because, you know, the characters. You know, the characters. So, you can also, if you need to, change your magic setup with another character so you don't have to, like, manually switch out if you want to switch jobs. Carby, a Golem. Oh, there's a couple others that are actually pretty good in that game, and I'll go with that when I get back. So that's the magic system. Equip, there's not really, I mean, it's standard fare equipment. Nothing really, special here, in all honesty. So let's look at, the jobs. So as you can see, this is why I call it an updated FF1, but a proto-FF5. You have your standard jobs from FF1, Warrior Monk, White Mage, Black Mage, Red Mage, and then there's the Thief you get a little bit later on. Actually, yeah, I think you get Thief later on. So you get your standard FF1 jobs, and you get, like, upgrades like Knight, Black Belt, and some other jobs like Magus and Devout. There's a decent number of these jobs compared to FF1, but a little bit, I think it's about the same as FF5, maybe? Some of these jobs never return. You never see Evoker ever again, I think. Outside of, like, spin-offs. Evoker, Devout, Magus, Black Belt, not Scholar. A lot of these jobs you just don't get to use again in future games. Onion Knight you get to use in, like, a couple other games, but not really in the mainline series. So, let's talk about the classes. So, Onion Knight. The thing about Onion Knight is, it sucks. It's probably the worst job in the game. You start with the Onion Knight, you won't immediately go off of Onion Knight. However, if you are willing to, and I don't think I got the job level up to, I think you need to get the job level up to like 95 or something. So you need to get the job level like level 90 or 95 before it actually gets good. But they come with unique equipment that you get at the end of the game, if you so desire. So, at the end of the game, in the Crystal Tower, you can fight yellow, red, and green dragons. These dragons, when you defeat them, have a chance of dropping onion equipment. It's the only place in the game where you get the onion equipment. Yeah, it can get the best stats. However, you gotta get it up to job level 90 or 95 or higher in order for it to be viable. As you can see, they get probably the strongest weapon in the game. They get the strongest shield in the game. It prevents status ailments, and it also, I think, halves all elemental damage. So it's like a ribbon with a elemental protection. And the onion helm, as you can see, also very powerful. Same effect as the onion shield. You don't even need the ribbon. If you got the onion helm, you don't need the ribbon. Yeah, no magic. The onion armor, as you can see, same thing. Also gives you a bunch of stuff. And the onion gauntlets. So, how strong do we get if we have the entire onion setup? That's if you're going with pure offense. If you got 2 onion swords. Otherwise, look at how beefy you are with a full set of onion gear. That is honestly insane. That's honestly pretty insane. Again, though, this is at the end of the game. And at the end of the game, you are going to have, you know, Ninja and Sage. Actually, you get Ninja and Sage in, Eureka, right? Was it Eureka that you got it? Yeah, it was in Eureka you got Ninja and Sage, I believe. But you still, you know, have better jobs than Onion Knight at that stage of the game. The Warrior. The Warrior class, as you can see, has the same equipment selection as Onion Knight. You're probably going to be using Warrior early on for your main damage. They also have better defense than, say, the Monk. Warrior is very basic. They have an ability called Advance. Actually, I don't know if they have Advance in this game, where they will do double damage on their next hit, I think. I cannot remember, honestly. But yeah, compared to, like, Monk does do more damage overall than a Warrior. But Monk also has less selection of, gear than the Warrior. So Monk's gonna hit more damage than a Warrior, but Monk can do more damage than a Warrior. Onion Knight is like a C here. It's S here. Once you get all the equipment, it gets leveled up all the way, but like, you're not really ever gonna do that in a normal playthrough. Warrior's a pretty solid B. Warrior and Monk are pretty solid B tiers, really. Especially early on. Yeah. Like, they're very solid damage dealing classes until you get Knight and Black Belt. White Mage is always gonna be, you know, A or S. I'm not gonna say S, but it's very A. You're gonna want the White Mage. White Mage is gonna keep you alive. They're gonna die a lot, more than likely. Black Mage, I'm a little bit hesitant to call A. Black Mage isn't bad. But because of the spell charge system, you don't have MP, and you can't, you know, well, in this version, MP's a little bit less of an issue, actually. In the Famicom and 3D versions, MP is not a thing, or a spell charges. Spell charge recovery is not a thing in those versions. This one changed it, where you can recover your spell charges a lot easier. So it's definitely a lot better in this version. Red Mage is B here. Honestly, I put it on the lower end of B here. I mean, I know that when you were the Red Mage in this game, hey, you carried us a few times, but like, the other issue with Red Mage is it's a jack of all trades, but it's a master of none. You know how that goes. It's pretty solid. You get to use a bunch of white and black magic and some pretty good equipment selection, but his damage output is always going to be less than everyone else. Yeah, it's just okay overall. And it gives you access to a wide variety of stuff, but the damage and healing output is always going to be weaker than the main classes. Ranger? Who uses Ranger? Like, I've never saw the need to ever use the Ranger class. Like, the Ranger class is kind of garbage in this game, honestly. Those are just not useful. Other classes allow you to use shields or two weapons. You can't do that with a Ranger. You can only equip a bow and arrow, and there's not really many things that it's gonna be good against, in all honesty. So honestly, out of all of these, Ranger's probably one of the worst. Yeah, the arrow system is kinda... Well, see, the arrow system in the previous games, just like in FF2, or... No. This is the first one that did, I believe. Yeah, you had to buy arrows, and they were consumable. So when you used an arrow, if you ran out of arrows, you just got a bow with no arrows. That's not a problem in this game. Once you buy an arrow, it's infinite. So, they fixed that in this game, thank God. But still, you're never really going to use Ranger. Their damage output will never outmatch the Warrior or Monk. I mean, you can put them in the back row and attack, but their damage output is still going to be weak. Knight is an upgraded warrior. They have Provoke. I think they have Provoke, so you can draw... Or, no, do they have Cover? I think they have Cover in this game. Let me look. What I'm going to do is, Final Fantasy 3 jobs. Let me take a look at, the job. Knight. They have Guard, so it gives them, a defensive bonus. Also, in this version of the game, it reduces magic damage, and they have cover, so they cover for anyone in low, HP. They used to have white. They do not have white magic in, they only have white magic in the 3D version. They have white magic in none of the other versions. Let me take a look at the Ranger. I'm gonna look at the Ranger real quick. Oh! So, in the Famicom version, Ranger could get up to level 3 white magic. The 3D version, they actually hooked this ability for the 3D version, so they did make Ranger better. They have Barrage. They do have Barrage in this game, so they can attack 4 arrows. Well, they can attack 4 times to 4 random enemies, so they do have that. They did make it better than the Famicom version, so Ranger is actually better. But it always does, each hit will always do less than normal damage. So, you know, it's the standard, Barrage ability. But hey, you got Barrage. Which is cool. Barrage is, a very nice ability. It's better than having just, you know, white magic. I still never used it because I like I like controlling what my target is. And yeah, Knight is just really good. They're really hanky, really strong. They don't have white magic anymore, but I mean, you don't really need white magic. Eve is kinda not super great. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if they fixed the thief this person. You have to get the thief at level 99 if you want to skill here 4 item. And that's like a 12% chance. Or something like that. Getting items earlier. Here's the thing about that. You never really steal equipment in this game. You only steal items. Granted, I will say right now, there are some items that are stupidly good. Stupidly good, and I'll tell you why. You see them right there. You see why it's stupidly good. The problem is, the skill chances are so low that the odds of you getting the item is like next to none. Does the thief have a mustache? I think the thief has a mustache. Yeah, the damage for thief is not very good. They're squishy. The best thing about thief is they have the flee command. So if you need to escape from a fight, they will let you escape automatically, if you can. So that's the only good thing. Also, they allow you to unlock locked doors without using magic keys. So early on, if you don't want to buy magic keys, you can just bypass it using thief. Yeah, I noticed the mouth pixels. I don't know if that's the mouth or a mustache. Because nobody else has the mouth, you know. So I want to say that's a mustache. But yeah, thief is honestly worse than a ranger, I think. Actually, you don't really need the scholar. It is nice to have the scholar. But you don't need it if you have the Libra spell. But like, why use Libra when you have the scholar? Now, the thing about the scholar, they do kind of really suck. They're not really very good. The main thing about the scholar, they have the scan command, which is Libra for free. But here's the thing about scholar, and this is what made me use them so much in 3D version, especially when you know how to do the item duplication glitch. Let me tell you, without that glitch, that game would have been infinitely worse. Scholar doubles the effect of items they use. So if you use a potion, which normally heals 100 HP, they heal it for 200. This doubles for offensive items. So if you use, like, say, a white musk or any offensive item that does a spell, it will do double damage with the scholar. So they're very good for item chucking. Scholar skill was so weird, the RPG Maker stole it. I mean, the double effect on item is a pretty nice thing. So Scholar is more of a support. You use them if you want to, you know, have an item chucker. But keep in mind, you're going to be missing out on damage if you do that. Geomancer's actually a pretty decent job. The problem with Geomancer is you can't control what they do at all. Now, as far as I'm aware, in this version of the game, every RPG Maker RPG has one Geomancer. I don't know about that. Geomancer is cool but random. Exactly. So, in the Famicom version, there was a big probability that you would backfire on yourself and hurt yourself. I don't think that happens in this game. I've never seen it happen. And I think there's a specific ability that is just gone on Swamp Tiles, because I've never seen it. It's in the Famicom version, but I've never seen it in this version, so I don't know if it's just gone or not. But overall, there's like 1 or 2 abilities I think that Geomancer will use, depending on what terrain you're fighting on. They're very useful for, say, Gogus Grotto, if you want to fight. Because they bypass the, mini, penalty. You don't have to worry about magic charges, so you can put your higher, party as Geomancers in the back row and just use terrain. They're not bad, but overall you're gonna have better damage dealers. I really wish that the Dragoon was better. I really do. They're just not that great. Like, yeah, they're either in the air or dead, and they can only use spears. And their damage output isn't really that good. Like, you can use jump, but, you know, that's taking extra time to do damage that you could probably do use a regular attack twice. You need the Dragoon to fight Garuga. That's the only time you ever really need this class, is to fight Garuga. Otherwise, there's no real reason to use Dragoon. They're not really that good. I guess you could put them in the back row and jump. I don't know if that affects their jump damage, but like, they're not really that good. They're probably like a C here, in all honesty. I never really used the Viking class. I don't think Viking is a Dragoon is required to eat here. They probably are. Viking apparently is super good for soaking up damage if you give them double shields, and because they have the provoke skill, so they can make enemies attack them. So you give them like double shields, and you know, put them in the back row and use provoke, and hopefully the enemies will target the Viking. Yeah, they're a mid-game tank. They're more tanky. They're probably the tankiest class in the game. However, keep in mind, you're not going to do much damage with them. Their damage output's probably going to be, like, next to nothing if you do it that way. They're not bad. It's not bad strategy to have, like, an enemy target one character. But at the same time, you also gotta, you know, make sure that the Viking gets their turn first before the enemies. They do kind of just exist. Black Belt. If you want to talk about someone who was a good black belt, this person right here carried the higher game. Right here. This character carried us the higher game as a black belt until the very end of the game. Yeah, Viking doesn't have anything worth doing, really. Black belt is like God here. Black belt doesn't really have very good equipment options, but they are God here with their damage output. Yeah, like Fauna here carried us throughout the entire game as a monk and a black belt. I don't even think she used any other class. There's monk. I mean, there's some that she tried to use, but yeah, outside of like, well, that was something else there, but like outside of like these classes, monk and black belt, or what she did. She punched you. She punched you very, very hard. And they have a command ability called, I can't remember what it's called. Is it Focus in this game? So you can use Focus twice to effectively triple the damage done. If you use it 3 times, it's gonna backfire and deal damage to the black belt, so be careful of that. They just do an insane amount of damage. Now, here's the thing. I don't see a reason to use Focus, ever. Because, again, it's like with the Dragoon Jump. Why use a command that's gonna take twice as long to do damage when you can do that damage with a regular attack in the same amount of turns, you know? Like, I really never understood those commands. Like, at all. By the way, how's the audio, Hate? I should have asked this earlier. Is my audio fine? It's not being, like, weird or anything? I hope. Like... Oh, stupid mouse. You can hear everything? You can hear me? I'm just making sure because sometimes... Okay. Because I know I had some people say that, the mic audio fell off again. Which, I mean, you know... I am using a headset mic, so, you know... Maybe one of these days I'll get one of those stand mics that, like, everyone ever uses, but, you know... Yeah, it's like, I would say Black Belt's more like, S here. They're very, very powerful. Dark Knight, on the other hand... Dark Knight is kinda disappointing. Now, they did make Dark Knight better in this version of the game. Let me see what Dark Knight did in, where's Dark Knight? So, if a Famicom version, they removed this in this version. Yeah, if a Famicom version, they had, up to level 3 white magic except arrow. If a 3D version, they had Soul Eater, which, you know, they did, damage to all enemies, but it costs 20% of their, HP to use. In this version, they get Blade to Blitz instead. So, they lose the normal Dark Knight ability in exchange for, Blade Blitz. So, Blade Blitz hits all enemies on the field. It's just a regular attack to all enemies. That's all it is. It's an AoE regular attack. Compared to Samurai, I don't know if it's... Well, I mean, Blade Blitz is a Samurai skill. Soul Eater's a Dark Knight skill, so they basically got the, Samurai ability. I think they did that to make, Dark Knight more viable for, the Cave of Shadows. That's really the only time you need Dark Knight, is in the Cave of Shadows, for the enemies that multiply. Or you could be like a lot of people, like just, you know, not fight any enemies there. Probably one of the worst classes of the game. This class is completely useless. Because you can never use the ultimates for summons. It will be 50% white or 50% black. And you generally don't want those. You generally want the strongest abilities for the summons. So, Evoker is trash. Also, you don't get Evoker stuff until, like, you get an airship. Yeah, when you get Dark Knight, you don't have access to its weapons. That is true. That's the big problem. You don't get all of the Dark Knight stuff at all until later. And it's very hard to equip everyone as a Dark Knight. Because you just won't be able to until you get out. Apparently, Bard can be good. It was terrible in the Famicom version. Apparently, Bard can be very, very good in this version. I never really used it. Like, let me look at the Bard. Give me just a second. So, in the NES version, oh, so they don't have a fight command. They have the sing command in the Famicom version, which dealt damage, depending on the type of heart they had. So, the hearts they equipped had their own unique damage formulas, and they may inflict statuses. That's not the case here. They also have the scare command, which tries to make enemies flee from the fight, which, why? That was completely useless. In the 3D version, depending on the harp that the bard has, it will just do a specific song. Now, here's a fun thing. In this version, they still have the sing ability. They're not high at the harps like in the 3D version. They're high at the job levels. So, you can also pick these abilities. They're not randomized anymore. So, they get 4 different abilities. At level 1, they get AoE HP Restore. That's honestly not bad. Just, I don't know how strong that is early on, but having someone who can heal the party every turn for free isn't really a bad thing. At level 10, they get Minuet. That increases the party's attack and magic. So they can buff attack and magic. So that's not bad. That's definitely not bad. At level 20, they get the Elegy ability, which decreases damage taken by the party. Not bad. And at level 30, they get Requiem, which causes a random status ailment to all enemies. That's kind of garbage, in all honesty. Let me see what, Oh! So, Elegy lasts for 5 turns. So, it reduces damage taken for 5 turns. So, Elegy's pretty good. I'm gonna assume that Minuet's also 5 turns. Let me find out. I don't know what Minuet actually does. But honestly, it's not a terrible support class. It's honestly a pretty solid support class in this game. In the other games, bards are, you know, garbage. You're never gonna use the bard class in a Famicom or the 3D versions. Like, ever. They'd be more useful for boss fights. They're more useful for boss fights than regular fights. But you do gotta get their job levels leveled up to at least level 30. I think it's level 30 or level 20 to get the good stuff. Alright, Magus and Devout. All they are just upgraded Black Mage, White Mage. You get these in the final dungeon, I think. So, you're gonna replace Black Mage and White Mage with Magus and Devout immediately. They're literally the same, just higher stats. There's no difference between, and they give you more charges for Black Magic and White Magic. Summoner is a better Evoker. I think Summoner always does the ultimate. I think it's always the ultimate. However, it is Summoner, by the time you get all the good summons, you're gonna probably have more charges and fees. And honestly, you probably want Magus and Devout over Summoner anyways. Just for the variety of spells you can use. So, Summoner's not terrible, but Devout and Magus are just better than Summoner. So, you're probably never gonna use the Summoner. And do I have to break up the Sage and Ninja? Do I have to? Sage and Ninja... Yeah, the magic is pretty rare. Sage and Ninja are the best classes of the game. They just are. Sage allows you to use every white, black, and summon magic in the game. Granted, they have less charges of spells than Magus and Devout, but you can use every spell in the game. Their equipment is a little bit weaker. Well, actually, is it? it's the same as, basically the same as a default, I think. But they can also use books. Yeah, unless you're doing a challenge run, you are using these. And ninjas just, I smack you, you die. Also, note, they can equip anything. They can equip anything. Except the onion, it cannot equip the, onion equipment. I'm pretty certain they cannot equip the onion equipment. Yeah, only Onion Knight can equip the onion equipment. So it says any, but they cannot use the onion equipment. And that is the job system. So, of all the jobs in the game, the ones you're probably going to use the most: Warrior, Monk, White Mage, Black Mage, Red Mage, Knight, Black Belt, Magus, Default, Sage, and Ninja. Those are probably the ones you'll use the most. Dragoon you'll only use for Garuga. Scholar you'll only use for Hind. Dark Knight you'll only use for Cave of Shadows if you really want to fight. Thief you'll only really use if you want to unlock doors. Every other class you're probably never gonna touch in the game. Yeah, once you get the upgrade the class, you're just gonna never use the other classes. So when you get Knight, you'll never use Warrior. When you get Black Belt, you'll never use Monk. When you get Magus and Default, you'll never use White Mage or Black Mage. Or Red Mage. Once you get Summoner, you'll never use Evoker. Things like that. Not that you should ever be using Evoker to begin with. Yeah, there's no real reason to stay as a class. And honestly, the only reason you would is for stats. So that's all of this. Let's talk about items. Let's talk about the items of the game. Evoker is just bad. So, you get your potion, which is 50 HP. Good enough for early on, but you're going to want to get high potions very quickly whenever you can, because potions just, they stop being valuable very early on. High potions are expensive, though. Again, you get your poison, blind, silence, petrify, hogue, and mini cures. So there's your status heal items. It's always good to keep a good supply of items on hand. You never know when you need them. I don't remember if some of these statuses stay after fights in this game. They might not, but overall, you always want to keep gold needles. Always keep gold needles. Always keep antidotes. Always keep echo herb. Mallet and Megan's Kiss, you could probably get away with not needing very much. Because there's very, very few times where Hogue and Mini come up from enemies. You're not going to run into this from enemies very much. And then Otter's Room, which teleports you out of the dungeon. So this is always nice to have if you need to escape. Okay, Phoenix Down. Here's the fun thing about Phoenix Down. I'm just gonna say this right now. And this is what makes Final Fantasy III super freaking hard in the previous versions. So, if a Famicom and the DS or a 3D versions, you guys might not know this. Phoenix Down is in there. However, unlike in this version of the game, where you can buy Phoenix Down, you cannot buy Phoenix Downs in the Famicom and 3D versions. If you want Phoenix Downs, you're going to have to steal it from specific enemies or win it. You cannot buy this item. It is so ungodly bad that you cannot get this item easily in those versions. And don't worry. Oh, don't worry. You'll see how bad the 3D version is at some point. You will. And when you do, oh, when you do, oh, when you do, you will see my agony. You will understand why I suffer so much with that game. Oh, you will. Alright, so Elixir restores all HP and MP. So I don't remember if this restored spell charges in the previous versions. I have a feeling it didn't. I could be wrong. Again, here's the item that it acts like a sight spell. Lets you see your map. Useless in this version of the game. Magic Key opens locked doors. You don't really ever need these if you have the Thief class, so it's whatever. This allows you to summon the Fat Chocobo, which allows you to store items that you don't need because there was an item limitation in the Famicom version, if I recall. You don't really need this in this version because you have unlimited inventory. Again, here's your, I cannot go out of my way to get all of these, offensive items because it was honestly kind of a pain. I think I'm missing the ice item, the Antarctic Wind. So, I don't have all of the items. Getting all of the items is a pain. Good luck. If you're trying to 100% this game officially, that's where you're going to have the most trouble with getting one of each item. So you got lightning, you got fire, Antarctic Wind is the ice. Confusion. This is haste. This inflicts paralysis, which... why? This is, I think, Faraga, Blizzica, and Thungiga, so these are good items. This does Quake. Actually, I don't think Quake is a spell in this game. So this is like a unique, item. This gives you Protect. I think this does, actually, I don't know what this does. I think it just does Death. No, that's Death. What is Black Hole? Is that Raise? There's Strain, Tornado. Why does Raven's Yawn cast Tornado? Narissa, stop yawning. You're making tornadoes. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Ah! I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm doing something real quick, don't mind me. I'm doing something real quick, don't mind me. No! I want you to go up here. There we go. I will keep that for later. What are you calling me a goober for? What? Why are you calling me a goober? Why you gotta call me a goober? This is, Erase. This is Reflect. This is Flare. And this is Holy. This Chocobo's Wrath item is the item that you want to duplicate in, a 3D version. Because this item is gonna be your de facto damage in that person. Again, all of your spells that you buy are all items. So you go here and you use it to, you learn it in the magic menu. As you can see, I got at least one of each item. Or, you know, at least 3 of each item 4. So, equipment. We're going to be looking at the equipment now. So, I'm not going to say where you get these yet. We will go over that. Actually, I will go over that. So, the onion sword. As you can see, the onion sword is blood sword. Yeah, the blood sword is a thing here. Give me just a second. 1 second. I need to go to Final Fantasy 3 weapons. Alright, so onion sword. Alright, so the onion sword. You can win this from the green dragon, yellow dragon, and red dragon in the crystal hour. That's the only place in the game that you can get this weapon, and only the Onion Knight can equip this. It's the strongest weapon in the game, but only Onion Knight can use it. Ragnarok. You can find this in Eureka. You have a fight, it's like a general that you have to fight. No, you just find, no, wait. I'm pretty sure you have to fight a boss with this. I think it's the general. Onion Knight, Warrior Knight, and Dark Knight can use this. We're not including Ninja because Ninja can use everything. It's very good because it gives you, it's basically, Onion Sword, just 15 hack less. So, fun fact. I'm also going to talk about the 3D persons. As you can see, here's the 3D persons. In the 3D person, you can see ultimate weapons, I think. And the Onion Blade and Safe Queen are things. Which is, you know, you're not going to see that outside 3D person. But yeah, there's ultimate weapons per class that you get for getting the class at level 99 if a 3D person. There's also Safe Queen. So, there's a lot of weapons that are not in this person that are in the 3D person and the Famicom person. Excalibur you also find in Eureka. It's for the Onion Knight, Red Mage, and Knight. And apparently the Freelancer, the 3D person. So, which one would you prefer using? Honestly, you could use both of them. No reason not to. If you're using like a Knight, you're gonna be using both of these. If you're using Ninja, you're probably using both of these. Great Blade. It inflicts gradual petrifying whenever you attack with it. I don't know how useful that actually is. Because usually things die before you fully petrify them. You can find this in the Ancient's Maze. There's only one of these. Defender. Cast Protect when used as an item in battle. Gives you a little bit of stamina. It's not bad. By the way, both of these can be used by the Onion Knight, Warrior, Red Mage, Knight, and Dark Knight. Defender, you can buy the Ancient Ruins for 28,000 gil. Or, you know, 16,500 if the NES version. You can also find it at the Temple of Time at the Sunken Cave, so it says I can buy it. I don't know if that's true. You might not be able to buy it on the Invincible here. Honestly, maybe I can buy more because I didn't need to. Ancient Sword. This cannot be used by the Red Mage. It can be used by Onion Knight, Warrior Knight, and Dark Knight. Give me a second, I'm gonna move this over here. Since I'm, like, looking back and forth, you know. So, Ancient Sword, can inflict paralysis. You can buy it for 16,500 gil at the Ancient Ruins if a Famicom person. I don't know if you can do that in the, in this person or not. You can also find one in the Sunken Cave. Blood Sword. It will never be the same as it was in, Final Fantasy II. It will never be the same as it was in Final Fantasy II, for good reasons. It's used by the Warrior Knight, Dark Knight, and Onion Knight. You can buy it for 16,500 gil in the NES version at the Ancient Ruins, or you can find it in the Wrecked Ship, where you find Arya. For Arya. Royal Sword! The Royal Sword is for Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Knight, and Dark Knight. And you can only find it at Castle Hein. This tells you how long it takes before you actually get anything new for, swords. Freezing Blade! And the Salaman Sword. This is Ice Elemental. This is Fire Elemental. It casts Blizzard. It casts Fire. They are what they are. They're only a little bit weaker. And a little bit less accurate for some reason. Why is it less accurate? Both of these you can, well, the Freezing Blade you can only find in the Molten Cave. Salaman Sword you can find at the Tower of Owen. Or in the NES version, you can find for 3,000 gil at the Dwarven Hollows. Hierophant. Isn't Hierophant like an actual mythological weapon? I'm pretty sure Hierophant is from, is it Iris or, I think Hierophant's like Iris, right? Or is that the Durandal? It might be the Durandal that's Iris. Hierophant might be, Celtic. Anyways, Hierophant, Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Knight, and Dark Knight. And you can buy it for 2,000 gil at the Dwarven Hollows. Yay! What the heck? Stop getting stuck on wires. The Serpent Sword. It's the lightning version. Why is it so much weaker? Who knows? It's for the Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Knight, and Dark Knight. And you can buy it for 1,500 gil at the Village of Ancients, or at the Dwarven Hollows in the NES version. Or you can find it at the Netho Temple and Hokel. Mithril Sword. This sword is Mithril. Mithril Sword. Get it? Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Knight, and Dark Knight can use this weapon. And you can buy it for 500 gil! Get 500 gil! At Casus and Kanan. Or, if you're adventurous, you can find one for free at the Mithril Mines. The White Slayer! It deals extra damage against undeads! It can only be used by the Onion Knight, the Freelancer, and most importantly, it can be used by the Red Mage. Congratulations, Red Mage! You got something good. You can find it at Castle Sasane by beating up some griffins, or if the NES version, you can buy it for 1,000 gil at the Village of Ancients or the Dwarven Hollows. The Moon Sword, the very first sword of the game. You can buy it for 100 gil at Or you can find 3 of them in the Alt Hair Cave for free, which you really should. Or 1 of them in It can be used by the Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Knight, and Dark Knight. For you starting adventures, you better pick this up, otherwise you're going to regret it. Because you're going to be trying to punch things with your fist, and it's not going to work unless you know martial arts. Finally, we have the Golden Sword. It sucks. You can only get 11 of these in the higher game. It can be used by the Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Knight, and Dark Knight. Again, only 11 in the higher game, and they're all at Goldor Manor. Why do they exist? They exist so you can sell them. I think you can sell them for 5,000 apiece, I think. Let's find out how much they sell for. Let's find out how much they actually sell for. 2,500 apiece, which is honestly a lot early on. And that's all the swords! Hooray! Swords are done. Now we get to the katanas. Ooh, the weeaboo weapon. Everyone loves weeaboo weapons, right? Do you like weeaboo weapons? I like weeaboo weapons. So there's a couple katanas that are in 3D person. There is the Murakumo, which is for Dark Knight. And there is the Muramasa, which is for the ninja. Katanas, or dark swords, I think they're called dark swords in this game. They're dark blades. I don't know why they're dark blades, but they're dark blades. All dark blades prevent enemies from splitting. So these are what you're going to be using in the Cave of Shadows, primarily. Masamune! I'm so used to calling it the Masamune when it's Masamune. Onion Knight, Dark Knight, and Ninja can only use this. And you find this in Eureka. I forget who you have to fight for this, but you gotta fight to get this. The Kiku Ichimonji. You find this in the Cave of Shadows. And you can go to Valgabar to get one by defeating the Shinobi. It is used by the Onion Knight, Dark Knight, and Ninja. I think that's how all of these are, is by those 3 classes. The Kohetsu! You can also find at the Cave of Shadow, Valgabar, and Bahamut's Lair. And lastly, the Asura. God of War. God of War? Was Asura a God of War? I don't even remember. You can buy this in Valgabar for 16,000 gil, or you can find it in the Valgabar Cave. So this is where the Dark Knight really gets hard, because they're very limited in their equipment. Like, super limited in their weapons. Now, knives! We have knives, guys! Give me a second. Air knife. There's a few of knives in 3D version. There's the Gladius for the thief. You can find the Lusk Dagger in Goga's Grotto. And you can buy the Dark Knife in the Invincible. You will not see these in this version of the game. Air Knife! It's Wind Elemental. And it casts Arrow when used as an item during battle. It is usable by the Onion Knight, Thief, and Ninja, and you can find only one at the Sunken Cave. If you like spelunking, you're gonna have to go find this item. Who put this down there? Next. Oh, there's another one that's 3D only, the Behemoth Knife, which you can only find in the Temple of Time. The Orichalcum! Wow, there's a lot of 3D only knives. They didn't really... They didn't put enough knives in. The Orichalcum apparently is like blood sword. It's like blood dagger. You find two. One in the sewers at Amur, and the other at the Temple of Time. So if you want your thieves to become vampires, get the Orichalcum. In the 3D version, in the Amur sewers, you instead can find the poison dagger. The main gouts. I think it's gout. Is it gouts or gauze? How do you pronounce that word? Is it gauze or is it gouts? Or is it gouts? I don't know how you're actually meant to say this word. Is usable by Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Thief, Dark Knight, Bard, and Ninja. And you can buy it for 7,000 gil at Amur, or you can find it at the Amur Sewer, or perhaps you could go to Saronia Castle and get one for free. Would you ever use it? I don't know why. Who uses knives? Knives are like hardly good in most games, I find. There is another 3D item called the Spark Dagger, which you can find at the Viking's Cove or the Tower of Owen. It's lightning elemental. It is not in this game. This version. Mithril Knife. It's a knife made of mithril. What did you expect? You can buy it for 500 gil at Casus and Canaan, and it's useful by Onion Knight, Freelancer, Warrior, Red Mage, Thief, Dark Knight, Bard, and Ninja. These who are also used by those classes. Wow! Look at that. One act difference between the knife and the dagger. Dagger! You can buy for 60 gil at or find it in And the knife you can buy at for 20 gil, only in the Famicom version. Or, you know, everyone just starts with it. So why would you ever want to buy that? It's not like you have to throw command or anything, so why would you buy it? Oh, these two weapons can also be used by the Black Mage, apparently. So there's some knives! So, you want to talk about bad item selection, guys? There's not very much spears. Spears are also very limited. This is also why Dragoons suck. Because they get, like, terrible selection. Alright, so there's 2 spears in the 3D version. You get the Gunir, which you have to steal from Ogun. That's the only time you can get the Gunir. You have to steal it from Ogun. The other one is the Magic Lance, which is the Dragoon's ultimate weapon. So, yeah, the fact that one weapon is only available by stealing it from a boss kinda sucks. The Holy Lance is Holy Elemental. It casts Holy when used in battle. Not bad, not bad. You have to find it in the Ancient's Maze, so you can only get one of these in the higher game. And only the Onion Knight and Dragoon can use it. That's how it is for all of these. Onion Knight and Dragoon. Actually, I think Onion Knight can't even use it in this version. Onion Knight is probably only in the Famicom version. I think they can use everything in that version. Oh, here's another one. Oh wow, there's actually a couple more. The Dragonlance is a freaky only one, which you can buy at the Invincible for 40,000 gil. And the Trident, also freaky only, you can find at the Sunken Cave. The Bloodlance, you can only get one of these. In this version anyways, which is found at the Temple of Time. In the NES version, you can get another one from the Sunken Cave, and you can buy it for 28,000 gil at the Ancient's Ruins in the 3D version. Wind Spear! Oh, there's another 3D weapon called the Heavy Lance, which you find at the Saronia Catacombs of the 3D version. See? Why didn't they add the 3D weapons in this game? Like, I don't understand why they didn't just add these weapons in. It would have made it a little bit more viable, at least. Instead, they literally just went with the NES version. And it's like, they just made some of the classes bad. Anyways, cast arrow when used as an item. You can buy it for 10,000 gil at East Saronia, or you can find it in Southwest Saronia. Ooh, free items. I like free items. Free items are good. I love free items. And lastly, Thunder Spear. Lightning Elemental, cast Thunder when used as an item. Oh, it's Thunder in this version, not Thunder. So it got updated. Well, I mean, you know, you're not gonna use it. You can buy it for 8,000 gil in a Myrrh in the 3D version. Or you can buy it in Northeast Saronia. Or you can get free at the Dragon Spire. Yeah, you're not using it with a spell at all. So, yeah, it's scaling off their intelligence. Nunchucks! Nunchucks are, well, this is a staff, but it's still a nunchuck. They're really good. It is really good against Garuga, yeah. Nunchucks are weird because they're primarily for the monk. Oh, I can do this. Okay. So, they're primarily for the monk. I didn't realize I could hit A to look at that. And really, it's good for the monk starting out, but ultimately you're not going to be using any of these for the monk, because they prefer just punching with their fists over using the nunchucks. If you want to get the nunchucks, they're back row okay? It might be. It doesn't really say. You can get this on Setsukon for 3,000 gil at the Dwarven Hollows or find it at Hokel. Honka you can buy for 500 gil at the Dwarven Hollows or find it at Castle Sasune. And the nunchuck you can buy for 60 gil at or find one at the Old Hair Cave. So axes and hammers. These are interesting. Because I think these are primarily for, Vikings. Yeah, these are for Vikings. Originally, the NES version, warriors could also use these. They cannot use them anymore, so, in the, 3D version, actually, before I go into this, I need to go, let the doggos out real quick. So, let me go let the doggos out real quick, and I will be right back. have returned. Behold, I live. Alright, so. Gonna cook this over here. Don't really need to look over there at the moment. So yeah, in the 3D version, there is the gigantic axe, which is for the warrior, and you can find the dual Haken in the ancient maze, or you can find it up invincible. It doesn't tell me how much you can buy it for. You can also wow, there's so many axes. You can also buy the demon axe in Valgabar for 40,000 gil. And the rune axe you can also buy for 35,000 gil on the invincible. The dual tomahawk. Wait, where's the dual Haken? Oh wait, the dual Haken. That's not 3D only. Duh! So the dual Haken, yeah, you can buy it in invincible. You can only find this weapon in the Ancient's Maze. Granted, by the time you get this, you're not using Viking anymore, more than likely. It says it's Lightning Elemental. I don't know if it's Lightning Elemental. Dual Tomahawk. You can buy this for 20,000 gil in the Ancient Runes of the NES version. Access do exist. Or you can find it in the Sunken Cave. In the NES version, there's a Morning Star, which you can buy for 8,000 gil at a Amur. Interesting that we don't have the Morning Star. So, they did go with the NES version, but they also took some stuff out. Like, why did they remove the Morning Star? Weird. The Battle Axe. You can buy for 7,400 gil at Amur, or 5,500 in the NES version. And the Viking Axe, you can not get the Viking Axe. What? Wait, Morning Star? Now come on, the Morning Star's here! It's the Viking Axe! Oh, the Viking Axe is 3D only. You can only find that at the Viking's Cove. Why is it? Oh, they buffed the Morning Axe. They made it strong. Originally, it was 50 attack power. Now it's 70, so they did make it a little bit stronger. So, can anyone tell me why hammers are here? Like, hammers? Nobody uses hammers in, like, any game, ever, right? Hammers are just there. So, this is where it's gonna get fun. There's only 2 hammers in this game, right? In the 3D version, the Mighty Hammer is the ultimate weapon for Viking. Get Viking at level 99. The Blessed Hammer you can find in Valgabar at the Valgabar Cave. Platinum Hammer you can find in Lake Dole and Valgabar. This is still the 3D version, by the way. The Dragon Hammer you can find at Saronia Castle. And the hammer! The regular freaking hammer! You can find it at Amur Sewers in the 3D version. Or glitch it in the NES version. You can't even get this in the NES version normally. And it's not in this version. Why? Why? You have a weapon called the hammer, and you don't even use it. And then in the 3D version, you give like 6 more hammers. I don't understand the line of thought there. The Triton Hammer. I think every single hammer is lightning elemental. It says it's wind. So they probably changed it to wind element in this game. It's lightning otherwise. If an NES person, you can buy this for 20,000 gil at the ancient ruins, or you can find one in the sunken cave. That's the only way you're gonna get one of these. And the VTuberEN hammer, you can find at Lake Door, Baltimore, Amora Sewers, and Saronia Catacomb. I don't remember if that's how I found all of these. I might have. I'm not sure. Oh boy, staffs. Staffs. So staffs are very good, very good. They're always very good. In the 3D version of the game, you can get the Sage Staff by getting Sage at level 99. You can get the Holy Wand by getting Devout at level 99. Holy Wand is amazing because it casts Curaga when used as an item. Alright, the Elder Staff. You can only get 2 of these. And wait. You find it in Eureka. One of them's in Eureka. That's where you find, Dog Lady. Where did the second Elder Staff come from? So, Elder Staff casts Cure when used to battle. Apparently, the other versions of the game, it casts Cure Ra. Why did they nerf it here? What? The Rune Staff casts Saga when used in battle, which is very, very good. You slap this on like a magic user and you go down. You can buy it for 18,000 gil in Northeast Saronia. According to the wiki, I don't know if that's true for here. Golem Staff. It casts Break when used as an item. You're never... Well, I was gonna say you never use Break, but Break does do damage in this game, so if you want your white mage to do damage, your mages do magic damage, give them a Golem Staff. You can buy this for 13,500 gil in Northeast Saronia, or you can find it in the Saronia Catacombs and Bahamut's Lair. Ooh la la. The Light Staff, Ice Staff, and Fire Staff. All the same stats. However, it uses Thunder, Blizzard, and Fire. You can buy all of them for 3,500 gil at the Village of Ancients. You can also buy at Dwarven Hollows in the 3D version. Oh, it's a lot different in each version. Let's start with the Light Staff. It's all 3,500 gil. You can buy this at the Village of Ancients in the 3D version, and the Dwarven Hollows in Northeast Saronia. Actually, I don't even know if that's true anymore. They're all at the same spots, basically. Ice Staff you can find at Hukul and Golden Gulch. And the Fire Staff you can find at Hoses and Golden Gulch. And then, you know, it's a staff. You can buy it for 40 gil at or find one at Cassis. We're almost done with the weapons. Rods! Anyone like using rods? I like using rods, especially in Final Fantasy V. In the 3D version, the ultimate weapon for the Magus is the Millennium Rod. Wow, we're going Yu-Gi-Oh with this one. For the Black Mage is the Lilith Rod. Millennium Rod casts Blizzaga when used as an item. Lilith Rod casts Death. Omni Rod, you can find in Eureka. I don't know who you fight for it, but you can find it there. It says it can inflict gradual petrify when hacking, which it does. The Light Rod, Ice Rod, and Fire Rod, as you can see, they're very similar to staffs. They're all bought in Northeast Saronia for 10,000 gil. Or, in the case of the Ice Rod, you can find one of them in Saronia Castle. And it doesn't tell you, but it does cast, I don't know if it actually does at this person. This is Fyra, Blissara, and Thundera. It doesn't say it does it here. I wonder if they took that away. They might have taken it away in this version of the game. In the 3D version, there is the Wizard Rod, which you can buy in Northeast Saronia for 20,000 gil. And then the Mithril Rod. It's a rod, it's Mithril, 400 gil at Casus and Canaan. And lastly, not lastly, bows! Do we like bows? How many of you love bows? I hate bows. Bows suck. The 3D version has a lot of bows. So, the ultimate weapon for the Ranger is the Artemis Bow. The Elven Bow you can find in the Crystal Tower in the 3D version. The Eurytos Bow you can find in Bahamut's Lair in the 3D version. And the Selene Bow you can find at Amur or Saronia Castle, or buy it for 16,000 gil at Amur in the 3D version. The Yoichi Bow, these are all Ranger only. You can buy it for 42,000 gil at Valgabar. This is your best bow. This is the best bow you're gonna get in this game. Unless you play 3D versions. The Rune Bow. You can find that Castle Hine. You can only get one of them, so if you don't get it when you're in Castle Hine, it's gone forever. So get it now before it's gone, gone, gone. The Killer Bow. You can buy for 4,000 gil at the Village of the Ancients, or find it at the Dwarven Hollows, or Castle Argus. Apparently, they changed that because I only got one. A Great Bow! You can buy it for 1,200 gil at Canaan in the 3D version only, or you can find it in Canaan in Sig's basement, or in Hokul. And the bow! It's a bow. It is a standard bow. Probably made of wood. Not anyone's wood. Just, you know, a wood from a tree. Look! Don't take that out of context, okay? You can buy it for 100 gil at in the 3D version, or find it in Castle Sasune. I'm pretty sure you can buy it in this version too. The bow! Or the bow. The arrow! Arrow. So there are some 3D only arrows. There is, the magic arrow, which you can buy for 250 gil at the Invincible 3D version. The Medusa arrow, which inflicts Petrify, buy for 300 gil at the Ancient Ruins or Invincible the 3D version, or find it at Castle Argus. Oh, it's gradual Petrify here. You can find it at Castle Argus or Saronia Castle. Yoichi arrow. You can buy it. Actually, I don't know how much they cost anymore. It says you can buy it at Valgabar and the Invincible of NES version. Light arrow, ice arrow, fire arrow. You know it. They're just elemental. You can buy them at the Village of the Ancients or find it at Castle Argus. And if a free geek person, you can get the sleep arrow and the poison arrow at the invincible. There is the iron arrow. It's the arrow. It's made of iron. Duh. What you expect? So, you can buy this for 8 gil at Canaan. Well, actually, I don't know how much it costs of this person. I should take a look at that at some point. You know what? Show me how much your arrows cost. Tell me that your... It says 50 gil for the wooden arrow. Yep, these are not the same prices. So the wiki doesn't have all the information. Shame on you, wiki! Shame on you! Shame on you! And if you're expecting me to update it, maybe I will. Maybe. The Holy Arrow is Holy Elemental. You can apparently find it at 2 of these at Castle Sasune, and you can also find it at Heinz Castle. Take this with a grain of salt, because I guess the wiki's not fully updated. Why is the wiki not updated? I'm mad! I am upset! Why are you not updated? And there's the wooden arrow, which you can buy at for 50 gil. It says 4 gil here, but that's not true. And apparently you can find 3 of them at Castle Sasune, which is not true, obviously. Boomerangs! These are back row okay. These are very good for back row. Did I never get any shurikens? Oh, the shurikens are down there for some reason. So, shuriken! You cannot equip these. Well, you could equip these in, like, the NES version. That's how you use them as weapon. You equip them and then you attack. You can buy them for 65,500 gil in Eureka. You can also find 4 of them in Eureka, 1 in the Crystal Tower, and 1 in Gasol in the 3D version. They are the most powerful weapon in the game. The Moon Ring Blade. You only find it in Eureka. It's not a bad weapon, honestly, for ninjas. And the Boomerang! You can buy in a mirror for 9,000 gil, or find it at Saronia Castle. In the 3D version. Also in the 3D version, there's the Chakram, which you find in the Sunken Cave, and the Rising Sun, which you find in Goga's Grotto. So there were a couple more boomerangs, but they never added them. Ah, yes, the harps. No! No! Yeah. Boom! Big windows. Stop it! So, 3D version. There is the Apollo harp, which uses the Elegies ability when singing. This is 3D only. You have to buy it in Eureka for 60,000 gil. There's the Dream Harp, which you can buy for 12,000 gil in Duster in the 3D version, or find it in the NES version through a glitch. It has this Payon song, which you use with Sing. There is the Lamia Harp. You can find this in the Sunken Cave only in this version. But in the 3D version, you can buy it for 10,000 gil at Duster. In the 3D version, it uses Minuet. The Madhura Harp. Oh wait, I missed the Loki Harp. Wait, no. Yeah, wait, no. I was talking about the Loki Harp, the Lamia Harp. You can buy for 12,000 gil at Duster in 3D version, or find it at the Temple of Time. It inflicts confused when hacking. And when you use it with sync, it uses Requiem. And the Magara Harp. You can buy it for 10,000 gil in a Mer, or, well, in a Mer, it's a free gift version, or in Duster. And you uses the Mine song when you use sync, it's a free gift version. Not many harps. Not many harps at all. Bells are also kind of, you know, not... There's not very many bells. There's only, like, 2 extra bells. No, there's only 1 bell in a 3D version. Bless the Bell, which is the ultimate weapon for Geomancer. The Rune Bell! You can buy it for 5,500 gil in the Invincible NES version, or you can find it in Saronia Catacombs or the Ancient Ruin. The Earthen Bell can inflict paralysis when hacking, and you can only find it at Saronia Castle. And the Diamond Bell! You can buy it for 4,500 gil at the Dwarven Hollows 3D version, or in Duster, or you can find it in a Mer Sword. And that's it for bells! Claws! So, claws are primarily for the Monk and Black Belt, I believe. Oh, they're only for the Black Belt in this version. The Hellish Claws you will find in the Ancient's Maze. They can inflict poison when you attack with them. Fairy Claws inflicts confuse when you attack with them. And you can find it in the Ancient Ruins. In the 3D version, you can find the Dark Claws in the Cave of Shadows, and in the 3D version, you can get the Metal Knuckles in the Sunken Cave. In the 3D version, you can also get the Hyper Claws in the Sunken Cave. The Wyvern Claws is, Wind Elemental in this version. It casts Arrow when used as an item in battle. You find this at the Goldor Manor. The Kaiser Knuckles you can buy for 7,000 gils at Amur, or find it at Amur Swords. It's a pretty good weapon. And the Cat Claws. You can find it in the Amur Swords. Now, in the 3D version, there's additional weapons. There is the Impact Claws, which you find in the Molten Cave. The Sonic Knuckles, which you can find in Hokul and Tower of Owen. And the Bronze Knuckles, which you find in the Old Hair Cave and Castle Sasane. And finally, books! You may notice the books. They are literally just elemental books. They don't really do a whole lot of things. They're literally just the elements. In the 3D version, the ultimate weapon for the scholar is the Omni Home. And then you can also find the Cognate Home in the Sunken Cave. So, the homes are only slightly better than books, really. You can find the homes. You can find all 3 of the homes in Saronia Castle. In the NES version, you can buy them for 15,000 gil. The books, you can find them all in Castle Argus and the Dwarven Hollows. Those are the only ways to get the books. And that's all the weapons. It is now time for us to go to the armor. Which shouldn't really take very long. It really shouldn't. Shields! Onion Shield! The most powerful shield in the game, only for Onion Knights. You win this from the yellow, green, or red dragons in the Crystal Tower. it, I guess it gives you immunity to, statuses and resist to elements. It doesn't really say that's what it does here, but, you know. Crystal Sealed. Perhaps against Confused, Petrified, Sleep, Mini, and Hoog. It's a remake. Here, it only in the 3D version. Here, it's only against Petrified, Mini, and Hoog. And there's all the classes that can use that. You can get the Crystal Seal by finding it for 50,000 gil in Eureka, or finding it in the Ancient's Maze in Crystal Tower. The Genji Seal can only be used like that. It prevents Petrified, Poison, and Hoog. You can find this in the Saronia Catacombs, Sunken Cave, and Lake Door. Or wait, sorry, Cave of Shadows. I'm looking at the wrong one. Only in the Cave of Shadows. The Aegis Seal. Petrify and Hoog will prevent. It can be used by all of them. You will find this at the Saronia Catacombs, Sunken Cave, and Lake Door. Obviously, that's not entirely true. Diamond Seal. Lightning resist and prevents Hoog. You will find this in the Sunken Cave in Temple of Time, and you can buy it for 18,000 gil, apparently, at the Ancient Ruins and Invincible. Probably a 3D version or NES. Demon Seal prevents Hoog. I don't know why there's so much Hoog immunity when Hoog isn't really inflicted very much. You can buy this for 12,500 gil at Valgeborg. The Heroic Shield prevents petrified, paralysis, and poison. Very useful. Lots of stat boosts. However, it's got very low stats. You can buy it for 3,500 gil at Amur or find it at the Dwarven Hollows. Ice Shield gives you fire resistance. Can be used by a wide variety of classes. You will, you can buy this for 1,800 gil at the Dwarven Hollows. Mithril Shield. It's a shield made of mithril. Buy it for 180 gil at Casas or Kadan, or be sorry. I got the letter shield, which, I mean, you can buy it for 40 gil at or find it at Althair Cave or Castle Sasane. The Onion Helm, the most powerful helmet in the game for the Onion Knight. You can only win it from the Yellow Dragon, so if you want this helmet, you're going to be farming Yellow Dragon. In the 3D version, the ultimate helmet for Bard is the Ballad Crown, and the ultimate helmet for the Evoker is the Royal Crown. Prevents Petrify, Mini, and Hoog. Useful by them. And you can buy this for 50,000 gil at Eureka or find it in the Ancient's Maze or Crystal Tower. Genji Seal prevents Petrify, Poison, and Hoog. Only useful by them. You can find it in the Cave of Shadows. Ribbon! Ribbon is the best thing ever. It prevents all statuses. And apparently in the NES version, it gives you Fire, Wind, and Earth resist. Very good stats too. And it's usable by everyone. All classes. You can find 4 of them in the World of Darkness and 1 in Eureka. Normally, you will not be able to carry all 4 of these out of the World of Darkness. Once you're in the World of Darkness, that's it. You're stuck there. Diamond Helm. Lightning resistance and prevents Hoog. Whoops. You can buy this for 20,000 gil in the Ancient Ruins and the Invincible not in this version of the game, or you can find it in the sunken cave or the Temple of Time. Viking Helm! It's only useful like a Viking! You stop that right now. You can buy it for 5,500 gil in Amur, apparently, or you can find it in Saronia. The Dragon Helm! Or Dragoon! You can find 5 of these in Saronia. That's the only way you can get these. Black Cow is for the thief. You can buy it in Amur, apparently, or find it in Amur. I think you can only find it in this version. In the 3D version, you can find the Chakra Band. Oh wait, the Chakra Band's over here. So there's the Chakra Band. You can find this in the Ancient Ruins or buy it in Amur. I think you can only find it in the Ancient Ruins this version. Scholar Hat is worn by a lot of people. You're thinking it would only be for a scholar. Nope. You can buy it in Saronia for 7,500 gil, or find it in Saronia in the Dwarven Hollows. A feathered cap, or feather hat. Quite a few people can use it. You can buy it in Duster for 6,000 gil. Ice Helm. These are the ones who can use it. It's fire resistant. You can buy it at the Dwarven Hollows for 1,200 gil. And you're gonna want to, because you're gonna go have fire guns. Make sure you get this before you go there. Headband. For the Monkey Black Belt. You can buy it for 1,200 gil at the Village of Ancients. Cell Helm. For your physical DPS people. You can find only one in the Neptune Temple. Mithril Helm is Mithril in helmet form. Buy it for 130 gil at Cassis or Kanan, or you can find it at Cassis. If you don't do it, you're gonna regret it, especially if you want a 100% file. Make sure you buy it. And the layer cap. Everyone can use it because, you know, it's a layer cap. You can find it at the Old Hair Cave or buy it at And now the armor. The armor. We're almost done. Onion armor. So there's some 3D only armor. The ultimate armor for Black Belt is the Master Gogi. The ultimate armor for Red Mage is the Crimson Vest. And the ultimate armor for the White Mage is the Angel Robe. The Onion armor is the strongest armor in the game. You can only win this for the Red Dragon. So if you want this armor, you're going to be farming the Red Dragon. Crystal Mail prevents Petrify, Mini, and Hogue. Rip it, you don't want to be a frog, right? Physical DPS only. You can buy it in Eureka for 50,000 gil, or find it at the Ancient's Maze and Crystal Tower. The Genji armor prevents Petrify, Poison, and Hogue. Only useful by the Dark Knight. You must find this at the Cave of Sadness. In the 3D version, there is the Fumagarb, which you find in Eureka and Crystal Tower. Diamond Mail. Lightning resist and prevents Hogue. Why does all the diamond stuff prevent Hogue? I don't get it. You can find it at the Sunken Cave and Temple of Time. In the other versions, you can buy it for 32,000 gil at Ancient Ruins and Invincible. Demon Mail prevents Hogue. They really hate Hogue in this game, even though it never really happens. You can buy it for 25,000 gil at Falconbar, or find 2 of them in Falconbar. For Viking mail! How much would it bet only for Viking can use it? Wow! Yarhahoi Maze! You can buy this for 8,000 gil at Amur, or find it in Saronia. Dragon mail! They're for Dragoons, dummy! You can find only 4 of these in Saronia. Only 4 of them. You cannot buy them, you have to find them. And if a 3D version, you can get the Gaia Fest by buying it for 7,600 gil at Dusker, Saronia, and Invincible, or finding it in Saronia. And the Black Belt G. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's doing something weird here. What are you doing? Why are you going all the way? Stop that. Reflective mail. You would think that it would have auto reflect. I don't know how to do that back then. You can find it in the Saronia Catacombs, Sunken Cave, Ancient Ruins, and Lake Door. There's only 4 in the game. If you miss them or sell them, well, you can always find them. But if you sell them, you can never get them again. The Knight Armor prevents Petra. What? Why does it prevent Petrify, huh? It's for the Knight. You can find it in the Dwarven Hollow. Flame Mail and Ice Armor, very similar. Resist fire, resist ice. Flame Mail. You can find the Tower of Owen, and you can buy it at the Village of Ancients for 2,400 gil. The Ice Armor, you buy at the Dwarven Hollows for 2,400 gil. Make sure to get it. You want the Ice Armor. Cell Armor. The Cell Armor, you can buy for 1,250 gil at the Village of Ancients, or find it in the Neptune Temple. Mithril Armor. The Mithril Armor is made of Mithril. Wow, who would have thought? Buy it for 350 gil at Kasan or Kasis or Kanan, I can find the name. And the Leather Armor, which everyone can pretty much use. You can buy it at And lastly, the Rescue Mail, which I don't, why? Why does this exist? You find this in Saronia, but like, you can't even equip it. Oh, there's the Gaia Fest and Bar Fest. They're actually right here. Why are they over here? Yeah, like, why does the Rescue Mail even exist? So, the Gaia Fest you can find in Saronia. The Bar Fest you can buy in Dusker for 5,500 gil. Black Road. Well, there's the Black Belt key. I already talked about Black Belt key. Black Robe. It's for Black Mage. Well, it's for Black Magic users. You can buy it for 27,000 gil in Saronia in Ancient Ruins, or the Invincible. I'm pretty sure that you have to find this in this version of the game. White Robe. Very similar, but, you know, Spirit is of intelligence, and it's for white magic users. Apparently, it's the exact same thing as the Black Robe, so I probably found these, and I don't know where I found them. Black Garb. For Beef and Ninja. You can buy it in Amur for 5,000 gil, or find it in Amur. Pretty sure you find it. Scholar Robe. Do you think it's only for the Scholar? It is not. It's by Learned Folk. The Learned Folks. You can buy it for 5,500 gil at Saronia, or you find it at Castle Argus and Dwarven Hollows. We're almost done. Kampogi! This is probably for Black Belt and Monk. Yep. You can buy it for 2,000 gil at the Village of Ancients and Dwarven Hollows, or find it at Hokel. And then you have the Mage Robe, which is only for mages, obviously. Ninja is not a mage. I don't know why he's there. Buy it for 2,000 gil at the Village of Ancients or Dwarven Hollows, or find it in Golden Gulch. And lastly, the best, which is for everyone. I believe this is, you buy it in or everyone comes equipped with it. I'm not sure. And lastly, the final thing we're going to do for today, we are going to look at the gloves. So in the 3D version, the ultimate glove or arm armor is the ultimate arm armor for the summoner is the Astral Bracer. The ultimate arm armor for the monk is the Sura Glove. And the ultimate arm armor for the freelancer is the Celestial Gloves. The Onion Gauntlets are the ultimate armor in the game, only for the Onion Knight. If you want to get the Onion Gauntlets, you must farm for Green Dragon specifically. Crystal Gloves. Pretty much the same as all other crystal equipment. You can buy it for 50,000 gil at Eureka, or find the Crystal Gloves at the Ancient's Maze at Crystal Tower. Genji Glove, same as all the other Genji equipment. You can find it at the Cave of Sagos. The Diamond Gloves. As you can see, it's exactly the same as all other diamond. You can buy it for 10,000 gil at the Ancient Ruins or Invincible, or find it at the Sunken Cave in Temple of Time. A bracer I found. The Power Bracer. Very good for giving a hack up. You will want these for your monk and black belt. You will find these if the immersed sewers. The Thief Glove. You will think would help with stealing. It does not. You can buy this in a mirror, apparently, or find it in a mirror. I think you find it in this first. The Gauntlet, which is for those very specific classes. You find this in the Dwarven Hollows. The Mithril Gloves. You will find, or you can buy it for 120 gil in Cassis and Canaan. And lastly, rings. For heck ring, you definitely want to get. Everyone can use it. Gives you fire, ice, and lightning resist. You will find only 3 of these. You will find it at the Temple of Time at the Ancient's Maze. Diamond Bracer. Lightning resistant home prevention, like all other diamond equipment. All for the magic classes. You will be able to buy it for 10,000 gil at the Ancient Ruins or Invincible, assuming that's correct, or find it at the Sunken Cave and Temple of Time. Rune Bracers. Prevents Petrify, Mini, and Hone. For the magic classes. And you will be able to buy this at Dusker and Saronia for 5,000 gil. Mithril Bracers. For your spellcasters. You will be able to buy this at Canaan and Cassis for 120 gil, or find it in houses. And lastly, the Bronze Bracers. The weakest armor in the game. You will be able to buy it in or find 2 of them in Old Hair Cave. And that's all of the equipment in the game. And the key items, I mean, These are the key items we're going to be stuck with at the very end of the game. So we got through all of this. The higher menu is all done. We talked about the menu, we talked about the jobs, we talked about the spells, we talked about all the items, all the equipment. So next time, when we come back to this, we are going to be talking about all of the areas in the game, as well as the bestiary. So the bestiary is going to be interesting. I'll give you a quick look at it. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about, but you will get to see the bestiary next time. Will I be able to do all of the bestiary in one stream? That's going to be up in the air. I might have to, like, just be like, yeah, I'm just going to be like, yep, I'm going to skim through it real quick, and, I'm going to move on to the next one, you know. I might do that, just to make it go quicker. So, that is the menu for Final Fantasy III done. So, next time, whenever we come back to this, we will talk about the areas of the game, and we will talk about the bestiary. So, until then, everyone, whenever that may be, we will be back to this. I will probably do this next week as well, just so I can get through it quicker, you know? And I will try to start doing my streams at 3 instead of 4. I really want to get back to starting at 3 and not like 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, you know? I will try. Alright, so, tomorrow, we are going to be trying to finish up Sunken Fossil World. Monday, we will be doing more Prism Cross. Tuesday will be more Nier Automata. Hopefully, we can finish Route B next time. And then Wednesday will be the last play 2. Thursday will be Monster Capsule, which Monster Capsule. Friday should be Nier Route C. And then next Saturday, we will be back with Voidex. So I will say until next time, everyone, whatever that may be, I will catch you all on the flip side of Void. And my advice for the day: if you intend to 100% a game, make sure that you know what you're doing. You don't want to go through the game and then be like, oh, I missed one thing that only appeared here. There's a reason why I don't do 100% playthroughs anymore, because it's so easy to just miss something. And for games that you don't know very well, your face is pretty much going to be stuck in a guide the entire time, which makes it less fun, I feel. So, if you're going to do a 100% playthrough of a game, just keep in mind it might not be your thing. Alright, so that's all for now. For those of you who are going to be checking our streams, let me check who is around. Mint is going to be doing her first Kirby game here in 7 minutes. So if you want to check Mint and her silly amp hits, check her out here in 7 minutes. Nimi is not streaming today. Nimi is off. Doki apparently finished streaming a while ago. Both Doki and Randon. Is nobody else streaming today? Nobody else is really streaming today. It's really only just Mint? Unless, you know, I mean, Iris or Bay might pop up later, but, like, I don't know if they will. So I guess right now all you really get is Mint at 7 p.m. EST. Huh. I guess it's time for everyone to get freaky with the Phantom. Alright, I will catch you guys next time, whenever that may be. Take care of yourselves, and have a great day.